Alright, so recently I've just been going insane waiting for Elden Ring Night Reign to come out, and since it's still 2 weeks away, I decided to buy this game called Vampire Hunters. And honestly, I'm addicted to it. Alright, so if you didn't know, Vampire Hunters is a first-person shooter roguelike that is heavily inspired by one of the most addicting games of all time, Vampire Survivors, which also happens to be one of my favorite games of all time. And also similarly to Vampire Survivors as well, I've been addicted to this game since I've got it. If you've bought Vampire Survivors or played it before, you'll know what I mean. But I actually have been enjoying this one a lot, and I want to give my first impressions on it. Now I want to start off with the gameplay because it is insanely good. The devs behind this game have perfectly transformed the Vampire Survivors gameplay formula into a first-person shooter, and it just works perfectly. My favorite part about this gameplay loop is probably making all of these builds, because you have about 14 weapon slots and 10 slots for primary weapons, which really allows you to experiment because there are a ton of guns in this game, and they're all really unique. They all behave differently and all have their own like elemental effects, and it's really fun mixing and matching them to see what works and what doesn't work, or just using 10 of the exact same gun and creating an insanely OP build. I mean, this is probably what I've been doing the entire time I've been playing this game. I've just been starting out with like one weapon and then getting 10 of the exact same weapon and just making an insanely busted build. But I do wish that this game had something similar to Vampire Survivors, where maybe you could link the relics with the weapons to create some OP weapons, because after you get them to max level, nothing really happens after a certain point, because you do get like these effects on the weapons. Like for example, that purple gun that I have, you can unlock Ricochet at like level 2, which is a really OP skill, but you get it very early. Like level 2 is not hard to get at all, which means after that, basically all the other effects are just kind of meaningless. Like there'll be these stats like you just have no idea what it means, and they just don't really have a huge impact on gameplay, and then you're basically just only leveling up damage, which is just kind of boring. And I feel like introducing the same kind of system that Vampire Survivors have, where, you know, the relics link with the weapons and then they end up creating like an even stronger weapon, is like really rewarding for leveling up all your guns. But that's like the only complaint I have, and it's such like a small issue. It really doesn't matter that much in the gameplay, but apart from that, everything is like perfect. Now onto the map design and the flow of the game. Even though I've only played like 2 maps, I really like the map design on this game. The way the maps are made, they seem very claustrophobic, but they have a lot of verticality to them, which is really cool because they're just constant hordes of enemies coming at you. So later on in the game, when you're just completely surrounded and the enemies actually do damage that can kill you, it gets pretty bad, and it's actually pretty risky to be down there later on in the game, because that's where all the enemy spawn points are at, so they all come from down there. But every single map has these staircases that lead up, which means you basically just want to be as high as possible, just funneling enemies through these staircases. And since they all spawn from the floor and take the same pathway up, there's no risk of receiving any devious backshots from any of these guys. Now once you've reached like 30 minutes or so, you'll get an objective to finish the game. The one that I thought was the coolest was on this pyramid map, where there's 2 areas in which you have to kill like a certain amount of enemies to fill up a meter, and once you've filled it up, pause, you get a symbol, and once you've got the 2 symbols, you can deliver them to the Sphinx, which ends the game. I actually really like the way they've handled this over just like ending the game instantly or giving you some like boss, because these objectives are like actually risky by the end, because there are just a ton of enemies, they do a ton of damage to you, and it's like impossible to do these objectives without actually having to fight these like hordes of enemies. Although I think the flow of the game is kind of weird at times, at least on the first map. After a certain point, enemies just become like complete damage sponges, and there's just like this huge like difficulty spike. It's not like that difficult that you just can't complete it anymore, but it's like pretty weird. And then the other map has like the opposite issue, where the enemies are just too easy throughout the entire thing, and the game just basically never gets harder. But this isn't really like an issue. It doesn't really like affect the game that much. It is noticeable, but it doesn't really matter that much. The flow of the game is just kind of strange at times. Now the enemies in this game I think are really cool, and honestly one of the best parts of the game, because you have like 3 different types of enemies. You have the basic enemies, the bosses, and then you have like these enemies that are supposed to like obstruct the flow of your gameplay. Like for example, that little flying robot, it stops you from just looking in one place and just going on autopilot. And then you have like this shield guy, which I absolutely hate, but it is a really smart enemy, because again, it just stops you from going on autopilot and it makes you actually think about how you play. And then the bosses in this game are also just really good. Some of them don't really attack you directly, which makes you really have to go out your way to kill them and think about how you play. Like for example, there's this one boss that like places down these poles around the map that heal the enemy, but he never actually like attacks you directly. He mainly just runs away from you and teleports. So yeah, I think that the enemy variety in this game and the bosses are just really cool. Now the only thing I really don't like about the game is the progression system. Now I would pull it up and show it to you guys, but there is so much stuff to show and it's all so confusing, which kind of just leads me to my complaint. The progression system in this game is so unbelievably like convoluted. I wouldn't even say it's like really that bad. It's just kind of like overwhelming. Like there's 3 different currencies and 2 different skill trees, and each thing that you unlock on the skill tree can be upgraded a bunch of times. And again, I really wouldn't even say it's like that bad or anything, but it's just so annoying after after every single game, you have to go through like 2 different skill trees and scour every single item because there's 3 different currencies, so you have to look at what you can buy now and what you can't. And it really might not sound that confusing, but it's really inconvenient when you're actually doing it. But yeah, that's like the only thing I don't like about the game so far. I don't really mind it that much. Like, I don't hate it so much that I want it to be changed or something, but it is extremely annoying when you're playing quite a lot. But yeah, overall, Vampire Hunters is a really good game. I got it for around £9, which is a really solid price. And yeah, I definitely recommend this game if you're looking to get it. I'm not too sure if I'm ever gonna actually like fully review this one, just because the 100% or platinum really looks like annoying. It looks extremely like tedious. But maybe if I get close to like completing the collection or something, or like 100% the game and see all its content, maybe I will. But I'm not too sure because it does kind of seem like it's a lot, and I'm probably not going to be playing this game too much when Night Rain releases, and on top of that, Killing Floor 3 is coming out. But again, I really don't see myself putting this down anytime soon, so I probably will get somewhere close to that. But yeah, that's really everything I want to say about Vampire Hunters. I just want to talk about this channel quickly though, because I made it a while ago, made like one video and just left it completely like dormant since. But I do plan on uploading on this channel like fairly actively. I have a Borderlands review coming out soon, maybe by like next week. But I do plan on doing a lot like reviews and talking about games and stuff, new games especially. And I've actually been thinking about making this my main channel and doing a lot more like gaming content and really focusing on this channel specifically, because that was what my main channel was supposed to be. But I started uploading MMA and one video just did really well, so I just ended up like continuing doing what I was doing. But I've kind of switched my video styles, and since MMA is like a niche, I feel like it makes more sense for that to be the second channel rather than this one. Although if all my videos flop on this channel like completely, I'm going straight back to the other one and never uploading here again. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. All right.
Finna take that lounge truck to Japan. Like, yo, nigga, get your bands up. Yes, you can.